Hello, my name is Ashley Baker. I am a graduate student at the University of Oregon studying costume design, and today I'll be talking about how to put on a wig cap for TA 410 Advanced Wigs and Makeup. The key to getting this right is to make sure that your hair is as flat as possible to your head so that the wig can sit as close as possible to your head. The other thing that you want to pay attention to is the position of your hair so that you can have different anchor points for the pins to stick into when you put the wig on your head. The materials that you will need for this are bobby pins, wig pins, wig cap, hair ties if you have longer hair, and a rat tail comb, or you can use another bobby pin for this part. The first step is to start with the hair right at the top of your forehead here in the center front. What you will do is you will take that hair and make sure that you get a section that is not too big, but not too small, and you will turn it into a pin curl. So to do that, it's best to take 2 fingers here and roll it around on those fingers, and then curl it down and flatten it as flat as you can to your head. What you don't want to do is take it, twist it like this, and then twist it down, because what you will get is a clumpier piece that will sit up higher on your head when you want this to sit as flat as possible. So let's do this again. Take the hair here, wrap it as tight as you can, get it a little bit tighter, then get it to sit as flat as possible to your head. And from there, you will take your bobby pins, open them up a little bit, start by going and taking a little bit of the hair there, go away from the pin curl first, flip the pin around, making sure that you're still holding on to some of that hair, and then going in to the pin curl. You don't need to get the entire pin curl in this, you just need to grab a bite of it and go that way and then back in to secure your pin curl. And then to really secure it, you take one more pin and you're going to make an X with this. So you're going to go in a different direction. So this time I'm now, instead of going across my head, going this way. And I'm taking my pin again. I'm going away from the pin curl first, grabbing a bite of it, flipping it back around, so you see how I did that, and then going back into the pin curl. And now I have a very flat, not the prettiest pin curl, but it'll work, pin curl on the top of my head. And from there, I will start to take the hair on the side of my head, here along the front, and make more pin curls. You want to do at least 1 on each side. If you have more hair, you may need to do more. I'm going to do 2 on each side for this because I can't quite get my hair to sit all in 1 pin curl on each side. So now I have another one here, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take my hair there with the pin, turn it around, go back in, and then I'm going to make the other X. Take it, go away from the hair, back in, and through. We have another little X there. And then I can continue on with this. It is okay if your pin curls are very tiny. It is actually better to have multiple tiny pin curls than it is to have 1 or 2 very big, clumpy pin curls. And the reason for that is the smaller pin curls will not show up underneath the wig cap. You will have a flatter look. So I'm going to continue on with this side with these pin curls, going once again away and back in, and then away and back in. And one more on the front for me here. Now the direction of the pins doesn't entirely matter with these pin curls. The important thing is that you want to make sure that they're not sticking out away from your head, because then they will poke through your wig cap and potentially poke through your wig, which can be a problem for multiple reasons. The first one is you're gonna have a pin showing through your wig, which sucks. The second is, if that is a wig that's gonna be in a quick change, it might get stuck on that pin, and you don't want that. Okay, so now the front is done, and because I have short hair, I can continue this along the back of my head. So I will continue from there to pin curl the rest of my hair. And what I want to do is make sure that I have at least 2 pin curls in the back. So one at the base of the neck, so one right here and one right here, so that I have anchor points for those wig pins to go into when I'm pinning the wig on my hair. So I'll turn around now, you can see. And this is where I can actually do a little bit of that twist instead, because I just can't quite get my hair to sit, but that's the only exception where I would say that that's okay. And then I do the thing again, the bobby pins, going out and then back in, and I make my little X. And that one felt like, to me, that did not sit well. So we're going to do that one again. Once again, going out, and then back in. There it goes. And these pin curls, once again, don't have to be pretty, because no one is ever going to see them. And if your hair is extremely short or doesn't like these pin curls, you do have a couple options. One of those things is to use a fabric or cloth headband to create those anchor points that you need. The other would be to get toupee clips, which are these tiny little clips that will snap into place, and you can use those as little combs to pull up your little hair and snap it up and out of the way. So now my hair is pinned back. I have a couple more loose pieces towards the top of my head here. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit of that hair and get it out of the way and pinned up. And some places will also have pin curls at the top of the head right here too for quick changes. I haven't come across that in my own experience. I've only ever heard of it, but that is another option to consider as well when you're doing your pin curls. I got one more piece here, so I'm just gonna grab that. And curl it up. And once again, going out, and then back in, and I screwed that up. Last time, out, and back in, and one more, out, and then back in. And so what has happened with all these pins is the tiny little ribs on here have caught on to each other and they've locked my hair down. So now, as much as I move, this hair is not going to go anywhere. And that's what we want. It is also as flat as I can get it to my head. Not pretty, but that doesn't matter. So from here, I will take my wig cap, take off my ring too, and give it a little stretch, and take it, make sure that I'm holding it like this, so that it's stretched out enough for me to get it over my head. I will start at my forehead here, work my way back. And I like to kind of pull it down a little bit too far forward first, so I can pull it back. Get as much of my hair as possible underneath the wig cap. I'm gonna pull my ears out, and then I'm going to gently tug on the wig cap until I can see just the tiniest bit of my hairline there at the front. You don't want to show too much, or else you're going to see too much of your real hair underneath the wig. And you don't want to go too far forward, or else you're going to be covering up a big chunk of your forehead and your face is going to look weird. So unless it's a specific character choice, the default is always going to be just that little bit of hair there showing. And then from there, I'll take my rat tail comb, I'll go in, and I'll tuck in all the little excess bits of my hair back into the wig cap. I can use my fingers a bit too if it's a larger piece and just pull down the wig cap if I need to. And then from there, I can just kind of keep going until I feel like it looks good. And I'll do the same thing with the back of my hair. Pulling this down as much as I can. And then using the rat tail comb to get the rest of my hair back up in there. And the back doesn't matter quite as much as the front, because usually you're going to have hair that covers the base of your neck here on a wig. So unless it's a particularly short wig, you're usually not going to have to worry about that quite as much. So now I showed you how to do this with my short hair. I'll show you how to do this with long hair. It's only a slight difference at one point, but it's important to know this way too, because long hair means more hair. So what I'll do is I'll start off doing the same process as before with the wig hair. Start off taking a chunk in the front and doing a nice pin curl around my two fingers and laying it as flat as I possibly can on the front. Just like that. And I can take my pins again and do those little pin curls, anchor it down, going away and back in. I feel like this pin curl is a little bit too big and it's going to show up. So I'm going to pull this out and redo it with a little less hair. So what may happen here is I'm actually going to do 2 pin curls in the front, because this wig just has so much hair that I think I need to split this center front just a little bit. And that's okay,
You'll just need to be aware of it when you're putting the wig on the person's head, that they have 2 pin curls in the center front instead of 1. So you may need to actually use 2 pins there instead of just 1 to get that anchor point to work. So I'm going to start again. Get that pin curl down. As flat as possible as I can. That's looking a lot better. So once again, I'm going out, flipping the pin, and going back in. I'm going to take another pin and make that important X that we want. So I'm going out, flipping, and going back in. I don't like this pin. One more time. Out and back in. And I'm going to take my hair here. Go. Looks like I caught a little bit of this hair in that pin curl, which is kind of a bit of a no-no, but that's okay. Just still up and out of the way. So I'm going to take this hair here. I'm going to make the next pin curl. Comb out the knots a little bit. Once again, rolling it around. Getting that as flat as possible. Pinning it. And making sure I get that X that I want. There we go. And then I'm just going to continue along the sides here. And get the rest of my hair out of the way. So while I'm doing this, I can probably talk to you a little bit about what kind of wig this is. This is a lace front wig, which means that it has a piece here in the front that we call lace. It's a form of net. And the hair has been tied individually into the little holes here in the net. And what that is doing is creating what looks like a natural hairline to us. I'm going to continue the pinning here. So this is different from a hard front wig, which would just have the wefting at the front instead of the lace. Lace fronts require more care to them when you're pinning them and placing them because the lace can be rather fragile. And so if you see what I did, I used the twill tape here as well as some pins to hold it into place rather than pinning straight into the lace. The twill tape helps to relieve some of the tension on the wig when you are brushing it and styling it and doing anything else you can possibly think of to this thing so that the wig lace is less likely to tear as you're working on it. And that is the most important thing. You do not want that wig lace to tear because it is very difficult to replace. And if you get it in the wrong spot, the wig is basically ruined. And you either have to toss the wig or find a way to replace the lace. So I have that side done now. I'm going to move on to the other side here and continue with my pin curling. Go. And I'm still trying to get this as flat as possible. It's okay if they're ugly. I will say one of the nice things about doing pin curls in your hair for a wig cap and then wearing a wig for a few hours is when you take it off, and if you've done your pin curls correctly, you'll have this amazing wavy style in your hair. So it's kind of like you're styling your hair at the same time as you're wearing another hairstyle. So I kind of like it, and I think it's really cool. And whenever I take off my wig at the end of the day, when I wear a wig, I always get really excited to see what my hair looks like. Just grabbed a little bit too much hair again. I'm almost done here. This is not going to be the prettiest one, but that is okay. We will work with it. And you want to make sure when you're styling a lace front wig, when you're using a bunch of pins like this, you don't want to pin through your wig lace with a bobby pin, because that will probably tear your wig lace. Okay. So now I have the front of this done. It's as flat as I can get it at the moment, so I will continue on with the rest of the hair. So this part is different as compared to short hair because you have significantly more hair that you need to get into this wig cap. So instead of continuing with the pin curls, which you could do, but it's going to take forever and it's a big nuisance and you really, really don't want to do it, instead, you can French braid. And you want to get these braids as tight as you possibly can to the hairline. Now, not gonna lie, French braiding is not the best thing that I'm known for, but I will try my best here to show you how that works. So you take your hair and you take a chunk at the top here, starting at the top, and you're gonna do it with one on each side of the head. So you start off with your little chunk, and you divide it into 3 pieces, and then you take your hair and you start to braid it like you normally do. So you take a piece on the right, bring it towards the center, piece on the left, take it towards the center, and you want to tighten as you go down. And as you're going down, you want to start taking more chunks of hair with you and kind of follow where this hair wants to go. And you want to make sure as you're doing this, you're still not making these terribly big and bulky. You want to get it as tight as you possibly can to the head. So I'm taking more hair here. I could probably take this chunk as well now. There we go. And you notice I'm still getting this as tight as I possibly can to the head. And I'm taking chunks from the other side as I go. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna take more and just keep going down. Making sure I stay as flat as I can. And once again, because this is never going to see the light of day, it's okay if it's a little bit messy. So someone like me who doesn't French braid very often, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with it not being the most amazing thing in the world. The key is to keep it flat. So I'm going to keep going down here, grabbing the hair as I go, giving it a good little tug here and there. You also want to make sure that your 3 braid pieces here are still about the same amount of bulk as you go down. If one gets bulkier than the other, then you're going to have an uneven finish, and that's not very fun to deal with. There we go. Continuing down here, a little chunk left. There we go. Okay, so now I have all the hair here on the left side of my head, French braided. So now I'm just going to continue the rest of the way down. Make sure that you give it one final tug to get it all the way down there. And you're just going to continue down the rest of the way with a normal braid. And it doesn't have to be fancy, but it should be nice and tight. You want to go down as far as you can. As you can see, I'm getting little chunks that are starting to kind of come out as the ends of the hair are reaching the ends of the braid. That's okay. We're not going to worry about that. We're just going to worry about finishing off this braid. And now I'm at a point where I feel like I can go no further, so I'm going to take my hair tie and tie off the bottom of this braid. And there we go, we have one French braid. Now I'm going to repeat the process on the other side. So I'm going to take my hair again, that's better. And I'm going to start the process on the other side. Starting off with my 3 pieces, doing the initial braid, there we go, and then grabbing chunks as I go along. And tightening as I go. If you want to get real fancy with this, you can do what's called a Dutch braid, which is essentially the same thing as this, except instead of going in with your hair, you're going outward. So what happens is you get what looks like an upside down braid, which I will show you in a video next week when I show you different rolling techniques for hair. So I'm just continuing on here, taking out the bites that I need, keeping the hair close to the head as I continue to go down. Make sure that you're checking the bottom of the hair so that it doesn't get knotted, like mine is starting to do right now. You don't want that either. Human hair is even worse when it comes to that. Human hair is also on your head most of the time, so it actually hurts. The nice thing about styling a wig that I really like is that you almost never have to do it on someone else's head. So you can get as rough as you want with the hair, and no one will ever complain that you are being harsh on them or you're hurting their head. So I also get, not gonna lie, kind of nervous when I'm working on an actual